Hey everyone, Boyan here. You ever hear of the Iliad? Of course you have. Achilles, Hector, the Trojan War, epic stuff. We've all heard these stories, these myths, these foundational tales of Western civilization. But what if I told you these aren't just Greek myths? What if they're echoes of something much older, something biblical? Get ready to have your minds blown, people. We're about to dive deep into the heart of the Iliad and uncover its shocking connection to the Bible. Let's start with the big guy, Achilles, the greatest warrior of the Greeks, practically invincible. Now think about King David, shepherd, giant slayer, warrior king. Both are described as unstoppable forces in battle, protected by a higher power. When Achilles sulks in his tent, the Greeks get hammered. When David is absent, his army suffers. See the parallel? And it goes deeper. Both clash with their kings, Agamemnon and Saul. Both are offered riches, power, even royal daughters to come back to the fight. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the same story told through different cultural lenses. Next up, we have Patroclus, Achilles' closest companion. He's killed in battle while Achilles is off pouting. Sound familiar? It should. Jonathan, King Saul's son and David's best friend, also dies in battle while David is away. Both Patroclus and Jonathan are deeply mourned. Their deaths a turning point in the stories. And check this out, both their bodies are desecrated by the enemy, a deliberate act of humiliation meant to break the hero. Are we seeing a pattern here? Now let's talk about Hector, the Trojan champion. He's the strongest warrior on the Trojan side, just like Goliath was for the Philistines. Both Hector and Goliath challenge their enemies to a duel. Both threaten to feed their opponents to the birds. The same language, the same swagger. And guess what? Both meet their end at the hands of a seemingly outmatched opponent, guided by divine power. Is it just me, or is Homer cribbing notes from the Bible? Chapter 4. Duels to the death, a tale as old as time. The duels in the Iliad are practically ripped from the pages of the Bible. Think about it. The challenge issued, the crowds gathering, the tension building to a fever pitch. And then, bam! A single blow decides the victor. It's the same blueprint, the same dramatic structure. David and Goliath, Achilles and Hector, even other duels sprinkled throughout the Iliad. They all follow this pattern. It's too specific to be a coincidence, wouldn't you say? Chapter 5. When Kings Steal Your Girl, a tale of two warriors. You know what really grinds my gears? When kings abuse their power. And guess what? Both the Iliad and the Bible have stories about this. Agamemnon, the Greek king, takes Briseis, a woman promised to Achilles, as a spoil of war. This enrages Achilles and drives him away from the fight. Sound familiar? It should. King Saul takes Michal, David's wife, and gives her to another man. Both stories show how the pride and power of kings can lead to injustice and ultimately weaken their own cause. It's a timeless tale of power, jealousy, and the consequences of abusing both. Chapter 6, Divine Armaments, forged by God or the gods. Let's talk weaponry, people. The Iliad is full of vivid descriptions of armor and weapons, especially Achilles' shield. It's described as a thing of beauty and terror, forged by the gods. Now, compare that to the description of Goliath's armor in the Bible. It's massive, imposing, and shines with an otherworldly light. Both descriptions use similar language, emphasizing the divine origins and terrifying power of these weapons. It's almost as if the same imagination, inspired by a single source, is at work here. Remember Nestor, the wise old counselor in the Iliad? He's always reminiscing about his younger days, boasting about his exploits in battle. At one point, Nestor says, and I quote, "In my youth, I killed a giant." Now, that line should ring a bell. It's practically David's catchphrase. It seems like even Homer couldn't resist slipping in a little biblical reference. Or maybe, just maybe, Nestor's story is another echo of the David and Goliath encounter, passed down through generations and woven into Greek mythology. Let's talk about the gods, shall we? The Greek pantheon is a wild bunch. Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Athena, the list goes on. But here's the thing, many of their attributes, their domains, their personalities, they seem like fragmented aspects of the one god described in the Bible. Zeus, with his thunderbolts and role as king of the gods, embodies power and justice. Ares is the god of war, much like the God of the Old Testament is often depicted as a warrior. Athena represents wisdom and strategic skill, qualities also associated with the God of Israel. It's as if the Greeks took the concept of a single, all-powerful God and split him into multiple deities, each representing a facet of his being. We've already talked about how both Achilles and David withdraw from battle after being wronged by their kings. But here's what's even more interesting. Both their retreats have devastating consequences for their armies. The Greeks are pushed back to the brink of defeat without Achilles, and the Philistines gain the upper hand in David's absence. It's only when they return, fueled by righteous anger and a thirst for vengeance, that the tide turns. This parallel highlights the essential role of the hero in both stories. They're not just warriors, they are instruments of divine will, and their presence or absence has cosmic significance. So, let's connect the dots, shall we? We've seen striking similarities between the heroes, the stories, the themes, even the language of the Iliad and the Bible. Now, here's a radical thought. What if the Iliad, this cornerstone of Western literature, isn't entirely original? What if it's a retelling, a pagan echo of biblical history, passed down through generations, evolving with each retelling? It might sound crazy, but the evidence is hard to ignore. If this theory holds water, it means that some of the most enduring stories in Western civilization have their roots not in ancient Greece, but in the pages of the Bible. We're taught history is set in stone, but what if it's more like whispers echoing through time, changing, morphing? What if the Iliad, a story of gods and monsters, is actually a distorted reflection of something much older, much deeper? The Bible. If that's possible, what else have we missed? What other hidden connections are waiting to be uncovered? History is never simple, and the truth is often stranger than fiction. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Echoes of the Past, and together let's keep digging for the truth.